Andre, what are you doing here?
I thought I'd keep Beatrice company.
Andre took me to the cinema.
What did you see, Nosferatu?
George.
Andre, we need your help.
Of course.
What do you want him to do?
That symbol on the scarf?
Yes?
Cesaro recognized it instantly.
It's the coat of arms of the St. Stephen chapter of the Templars.
My God.
What?
I always thought it was just a story.
Look, Andre, tell us what you know.
Tell us, chérie.
The St. Stephen chapter was reputed to have escaped the Inquisition by hiding in secret chambers. Somewhere in Paris. No one knew where, though previously they had their base near the old church at Monfason.
Maybe I can find a clue in the old Templar meeting place.
What do you mean?
The Templars used to meet in secret in the catacombs there.
Of course.
There's more.
Go on.
It involves the founding of the chapter.
We don't have time for tales, Andre.
Listen, Nico, if there's one thing I've come to realize, it's that you can't have too much information. Carry on, Andre.
Thank you, George. When the Templars were in possession of the Temple Mount in Israel, they discovered a holy relic. A young knight, Stephan, was given the task of transporting it secretly to France. He traveled north through Galilee and then headed to the coast where he boarded a ship destined for the river Po. Making his way up the Po Valley, Stephan avoided known dangers to the west by heading north to the Rheingau. Pursued into France by the forces of a treasure-hunting prince, he was forced to make a stand in the mountains of Reims. Though able to dispose of his foes, he was fatally wounded. Bravely, he continued to his destination, the Bérentoire Preceptory, handed the relic to the master of the chapter, then died. The order changed its name to Saint-Stéphane, in honor of the brave knight, and relocated to Paris.
It's like a fairy tale. Good grief.
I'm going to head for Monfason to look for clues. Nico?
You go without me, George. Andre and I will see if we can work out the exact location in Egypt.
Right. Well, I'll see you soon then.
Off you go, George.
I was back in Monfason Square after all these years. Beneath the cobbles lay a hidden world of ancient waterways and catacombs, some of it built by the Knights Templar as a meeting place and sanctuary. Once again, I was going to have to go down there to discover the truth. On the boarded-up door was a notice. Due to local seismic events and out of concern for the safety of our patrons, we will be closed for the foreseeable future. I didn't want the notice, and I didn't want to break into the cafe.
Hey!
What? Who, me?
What do you think you're doing up there?
Admiring the view. I can see right into your pissoir from here.
Pervert! Get down from there before I call the police.
Okay, I'm coming. A little old lady was sitting by the urinal, or pissoir, as the French call them. I guessed she was some kind of concierge. Hi, how are you?
Alive, thank God.
I know the feeling. Nice view of Monfason Square you've got here.
What's the point of a view when life's not worth a sou?
Hey, you're not one of those crazy hip-happening street poets, are you?
Don't be ridiculous, monsieur. I look after a pissoir.
So what do?
I'm a brain surgeon. What do you think?
I think you look after this pissoir.
Zut alors! No flies on you, monsieur.
As long as I don't go in there.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Huh?
Whoa, my mistake. I backed off. It's a well-known fact that toilet attendants account for the majority of homicides in France. Must be the bleach blocks. You take pride in your work?
This pissoir is the cleanest and most hygienic in all France.
That must take a lot of dedication.
Yes, sir. In this job, the harder you work, the more other people just pass water upon your efforts.
I know the feeling. Any good gutters around here?
Quoi? A gutter?
Yeah, a common roadside gutter. I need to whiz, lady.
A whiz? What is this whiz, monsieur? Mon Dieu! You mean you wish to... in a gutter? Why, in the name of all that is hygienic, do you want to use a gutter? When there is a perfectly clean pissoir here.
That might pass for clean in the old world, lady. But I'd rather whiz in a gutter any day.
This is an outrage. I shall investigate.
You do that. You never know when you might need a length of rope.
Hey! You up there!
Oh, hi there!
I will not have some peeping Toms spying on my customers while they do their business!
Hey, I'm not spying on anybody.
Want to explain that to the police?
No, not really. Coming down. The mustache, the attitude, the ass hanging out of the pants. It was the same guy I'd met years ago at the bombed-out cafe. Of course, back then I was still in Fighting Evil Conspiracies Junior League. Hi, how you doing?
Ça va? As long as we don't have another earthquake.
Well, you should be safe here, by the old church.
You're joking. Look at it.
But it's medieval.
Medieval? Shoddy, you mean? Should be torn down and replaced with something modern.
Really?
Something nice in concrete and steel. Built to be earthquake-proof.
You think there's gonna be more quakes?
Of course. And look at all that rubble. The thing's a death trap. Wait a minute. You seem very familiar to me, monsieur.
Me? Oh, I doubt it.
But of course. You're the guy who gave me that racing tip.
Oh, right, so I am.
That horse made a fortune for me. Turned my whole life around.
Guess I'm just a natural.
It's a gift, monsieur. A gift.
But how come you're still digging up roads?
I've got my own company now, monsieur. And a drill. See? Not a pick. If you have any more tips like that one...
You'll be the first to know. What exactly are you doing here?
These damned earthquakes are screwing everything up. There's plenty of stuff underground needs fixing after that last shock.
So you're digging a hole for the utilities guys to get to the damage?
That's it. And the sooner we're out of here, the happier I'll be.
You said we. I don't see anybody else working.
My workmate, Alphonse, is snoring up a storm in the cab of my truck.
Why isn't he helping you?
Medical exemption. He's got a piece of paper from his doctor saying he is clinically seismophobic.
He's afraid of earthquakes?
Just so, monsieur.
And you believe it?
You can't argue with a piece of paper, can you?
So, how did you end up with this Alphonse guy?
Positive discrimination. We have to take on a set number of cowardly idiots every year.
In the open tool bag, I could see a sewer key. In the open tool bag, I could see a sewer key.
Hey, monsieur! Leave those tools alone!
Me? Oh, I was just admiring them.
Well, do it from further away!
Hey, you! I'd seen dead people with more life in them than this guy. It was the compressor that powered the pneumatic drill.
Mon Dieu, so help me! Hey, Alphonse! What do you think you're doing, idiot?
While the workman was looking the other way, I borrowed his sewer key. Funny, every time I get involved in saving the world, I turn into a kleptomaniac.
Look, Alphonse! I am tired of arguing with you!
I didn't want anything else from the
Just be sure
bag.
it doesn't happen again, huh?
With only the faintest shudder of déjà vu, I prepared once again to get intimate with the Parisian sewers. Come on, you piece of... I couldn't understand it. I'd once lifted this very manhole easily. Perhaps I'd let myself go.
Hey, monsieur, that's not my sewer key by any chance.
No! What do you take me for?
You just happen to carry one around with you.
Of course. Doesn't everybody?
Sure. Anyway, you're wasting your time. That cover was welded down years ago, during the Sieur Jacques panic.
Great. If I wanted to shift that cover, it'd take something a whole bunch stronger than me. I didn't have the horsepower to lift that cover, but I knew something that did.
Hey! What are you doing?
Just setting something up. You'll love this.
You've anchored the van.
Let me ask you a hypothetical question. Your driver
Alphonse, damn his cowardly liver.
is scared of earthquakes, right? What would he do if there was an earthquake right now?
He'd slam the truck into gear and get out of here like... Oh,
That's right. With a manhole following him home.
he would never leave it down.
Is that a bad thing?
No, that's what sells your crazy scheme to me.
The guy was sleeping like a baby. Earthquake! Earthquake!
Magnifique! I don't know what I'll tell the insurance people, monsieur, but it was worth it.
Sprinkling sunshine into people's lives. I guess that was what I lived for. But right now, the sewer beckoned. The wall was well built and very, very solid. I left the ancient archway alone. There was nothing I could do with the ancient archway that wouldn't have upset archaeologists. A big, spooky skull stared out at me. The mouth looked out of proportion. I didn't like the idea of putting my hand in the skull's mouth. But hey, what the heck? I was only risking mutilation. No blade took my hand off at the wrist, and no spider bit me, for which I was very grateful. But there was nothing in there to help me either. The skull's mouth had the same shape as the stone cylinder. Aha! I could write a book on secret doors. I really could. Oh my God! Something truly nasty had happened here. A trail of blood led round the corner. There was a large pool of blood on the floor. We weren't talking chickens here. A trail of blood led away. Either someone had crawled away or been dragged. I'd arrived too late. Cesaro and his men had shown no mercy for these poor souls. How could anyone do this? I didn't want to, but I had to search the body. The only thing on him was an old rusty key. The sink was full of dirty, used mugs. The attack had obviously been sudden and unexpected. I decided not to operate it. The microwave's oven control panel was smashed, but the 10-second button was still intact. Only useful if you needed to cook something for less than a minute, of course. It was a very expensive coffee machine. Cesaro's men had smashed it up pretty good. I guess they didn't like coffee. Now that wasn't quite right. It was one of the Templars. He'd been badly beaten. An unfinished chess game. There were only 2 pieces left, a bishop and a king. It was a no-win situation. I just wanted to leave him in peace. A fire had been burning. It was still smoldering. The attack must have happened within the last few hours. Cesaro's men had shown no mercy. Just as I'd feared, Cesaro had arrived first. One of Cesaro's men was guarding the kitchen. I couldn't get through while he was there. I was gonna have to find a way to distract him. I had no reason to try that. That wouldn't work here. No way was I doing that. That wasn't the right approach. It was too beaten up to work. My heart was racing enough already. I didn't need coffee. I thought about it, but decided not to do it. That wasn't the right approach. Not this time. I had no reason to try that. Cesaro and his men must have come through that way. They must have blocked it off behind them so no one else could get out that way. I wasn't going to get through there in a hurry. The bars were several inches thick. That wasn't such a good idea. No way was I doing that. The door was ajar. I could hear voices. There were a couple of Cesaro's men, and they had brought a dog.
You hear something?
Nah,
How much longer we gotta be here?
like the boss says, till it's all over.
Or till that yank turns up and we kill him?
Yeah. And no guesses which one I prefer.
Me too. I hate that guy.
Well, now, let's be accurate, eh? You hate everyone.
True. True.
I couldn't risk attracting their attention. I would have been caught if I'd gone through the door. I had to find another way in without being seen. I'd come all this way. I didn't want to go back now. The microwave suddenly sprang into life. It was going to make a noise. I had to hide. Fast. Mission accomplished. The guy was now trapped in the room. The guard had sat down to a hearty meal. Beans, egg, some chicken. How could anyone sit down to eat a meal surrounded by this carnage? Some cast iron pots with broth simmering in them. Sweet smells wafted over. On the shelves were a mixture of canned foods and game. Pheasant and beans, a Stobart family favorite. It looked like an old map of Europe. Had to be 500 years old. Game, hung ready for skinning and cooking. The Templars lived well. Rabbit, pheasant. Barrels full of hops and beer. It looks like the Templars even brewed their own beer. That was strange. The blood trail led to the wine rack, but then completely disappeared. No pool of blood, no body, no nothing. Damn, that's not right. It was a bottle of Italian wine, Modena Lambrusco. It was a bottle of Israeli wine, Carmel Sauvignon Blanc. It was a bottle of French wine, Chateau Barentois. It was a bottle of German wine, Wiesbaden. It was a bottle of French champagne, Montagne de Reims. It looked like an old map of Europe. It was a bottle of Italian wine, Modena Lambrusco. It was a bottle of Israeli wine, Carmel Sauvignon Blanc. It was a bottle of French wine, Chateau Barentois. It was a bottle of German wine, Wiesbaden. It was a bottle of French champagne, Montagne de Reims. Damn, that's not right. The magnifying glass was a real beauty. That wouldn't work here. Damn, that's not right. It was a bottle of Israeli wine, Carmel Sauvignon Blanc. It was a bottle of Italian wine, Modena Lambrusco. It was a bottle of German wine, Wiesbaden. Damn, that's not right. Hey, presto! To my delight, the wine rack moved to reveal a secret passage. The blood trail continued.
Ah, Stobart. We knew you would come.
Hey, you're the guy who mugged me outside the theater.
We had to have the Key of Solomon. Now listen to me. Susaro is more powerful than we thought. There isn't much time. You must find the others. Protect the key.
Where is it?
Look for the statue. It hides the...
Hides what? I wasn't gonna get any more from the guy. I couldn't find any clues. Whatever he was trying to protect, it was clearly worth laying his life down for. The broken clock had stopped at 3:42. Cesaro's men must have been here for at least an hour. They must have been desperate. Hardly anything had been left untouched. The clock was smashed so badly it was beyond repair. They'd looked everywhere for the key. I hope they found it. Silence. That was either a sign, or there was just no one behind the door. The clock was large, beautiful, and useless. It didn't work. The key to adjust the time had been left in the clock face. The key to adjust the time had been left in the clock face. I entered the time that corresponded to the date this place was dedicated to St. Stephen. It was around 1247. That didn't work. I set the clock to 3:42, the time I'd seen on the smashed clock. Nothing happened. It was a medieval tapestry depicting a knight on his horse. It reminded me of a manuscript I once found. A finely carved statue of a knight of the Templar order. Not very flattering. I couldn't see any levers or buttons. It was a large statue of a man. Maybe this was the statue the Templar had been trying to tell me about. Below the statue, on the plinth, was a brass plaque. The statue was made of solid stone. I couldn't see any moving parts. The plaque was set into the plinth. It couldn't be removed from its recess. The plaque indicated that the statue was of St. Stephen. Below his name was a quote, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand." Revelation. Now, when I was a boy, Grandpa Stobart, or to give him his full title, the Very Reverend Archie Stobart, had insisted I went to Bible class. So Revelation was no revelation to me. It was a statue of a Templar knight. The statue was old, very old. The Bible was just what I needed. I had a Bible reference. I decided to look it up. I flicked through the good book looking for the right chapter. Aha! Revelations. Now, where is it? Got it. Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. Chapter 1, verse 3. 1:03. I entered the time suggested by the verse from the Bible, chapter 1, verse 3. Nothing. I was running out of ideas. Then a sound caught my attention. Sliding statues, ancient mechanisms. You didn't get this kind of thing back in Idaho. Behind the statue, a flight of stairs was going up. Well, here goes.
Seize him!
Whoa! Let him go. Come in, Monsieur Stobbart. We've been expecting you.
Who are you?
I am the preceptor of the temple.
The chapter of Saint Stephen?
Very good. Your deductions brought you here, as we knew they would.
My deductions also tell me you've got the key of Solomon.
We did have it, briefly, but alas, it has been taken again.
Cesaro.
He attacked swiftly and with overwhelming force. My men fought bravely, but it was not enough. A few of us retreated here to hide. A few miserable survivors.
Why is the key so important?
You know of the armillary?
Some?
Cesaro has set the armillary in motion. He will use the key to release the dragon energy in an enormous burst, which he will then harness to fulfill his own desires.
So where's the armillary? Surely all we have to do is go there and turn the damn thing off.
The whereabouts of the armillary have been long forgotten. 3 ancient stones hold the secret to its location.
Don't tell me. You lost them too?
We have 1 stone.
Show me. Bingo. I do believe we've got the other 2.
It is said that the 3 stones are linked. With the stones there is a chance.
What can I do to help?
We will send our best knight, chivalrous, tenacious, and unswerving in his determination to fight evil.
Well, whoever this guy is, he's gonna need a hand.
That is for him to decide.